J.T. Crowley is Talking Books. On the show, you'll hear from emerging talent and seasoned veterans from around the world.
Hello, I'm J.T. Crowley, the host of Talking Books on Web Talk Radio. And today I have the great pleasure of talking to P.J.Ellis from Atlanta in Georgia in the United States about her book, After You, My Dear, I Will Always Follow You. Now, if you love thriller romances, which include murder, kidnappings, and mysterious episodes, then this is a book for you. That's all I'm going to say about it at this stage of the interview, for I want Pam to fill us in about what she's written, because she's the author of the book. She knows what's in there more than I do, and it's her job to tell us all about the book itself, the story. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite her onto the show and say, Pam, come and join me.
John, hello. Hello from Atlanta, Georgia.
I know. This lady, everybody, is from Atlanta, Georgia, and as most of you know, I'm from Derby in the United Kingdom. So we have a 6-hour time difference. So it's just gone 10 o'clock at night for me, and I think it's just gone 4 o'clock in the afternoon for Pam. But hey, we're having fun here. So, now Pam, before we start, and open the book, have a peep, could you tell the audience a little about yourself? And what's the story behind the story here? What's the backdrop to this book? Why this genre? Why the story? Now, I believe this is going to be a story of 2 books, a duology, which you intend to publish. So book 1 is here and 2 might follow. We'll cover that off later. So would you care to tell us who you are and why this book?
I would love to. You know my name, P.J.Ellis, and you know where I'm from. It's a hot day here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have written my debut novel, which I will show to you. It's called After You, My Dear. My life is a fairly simple one. I take care of my house and my pets and myself, and I write. Writing is my entertainment. And with that, we have the book. The premise of the book is about a woman's escape from an abusive and controlling man. She has regrettably married young to the charming and very, very wealthy Victor LaRoche. It starts out as a storybook romance between them, as marriages often do, and then one or the other, because this is not restricted to women, but one or the other will eventually show their true dark colors, which Victor has done. When his wife Selena manages to escape, she is then forced to flee repeatedly, as Victor is relentless and ruthless in hunting her down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, everybody. Oh, yes. Now, there are 53 chapters to this very busy book. It's beautifully written. It's very creatively written. It's very professionally written. And the stories are gripping. And as you delve deeper and deeper into the book, the action really gets going. And I don't know where Pam gets her ideas from, but she's got some. Believe you me, everybody. I just don't know where her imagination and her mind come from when she, writing this book. But, oh yeah. Now, there are 2 parts to this book, everybody. And the first part is titled Run and has 32 chapters. And the second part is titled Pray with 21 chapters. Now, if you think we're going to go into all 53 chapters and all parts of the books, I'm sorry, we're not. Because that's not the idea of this interview. The idea is to whet your appetite, give you a little insight as to what you can expect. And if you want to know more, very simply, go and buy the book. I can't be fairer than that. So, As I said, there are two parts to this book, 53 chapters, busy chapters. Let's open it up and start exploring it and see what Pam's written and what she's telling us. So I want to go to Pam, the first two chapters, headed up Selena and Victor, respectively. And here, Pam, you take the reader into an abusive situation straight away. Here she goes, everybody. We've got an abusive situation. So I want to know is, and like the audience, who are these characters, Selena and Victor? What's their relationship? And plus, in these first two chapters, you talk about stalking, separation, notice, protective order. You've got Selena's mother. And in chapter 2, we get a scene of Victor's immense wealth. He's very wealthy, everybody. So, Pam, why these two dominant characters, and why are you touching upon such issues so early in the book? What's cracking off here?
Well, I think it's relevant to our society wherein we see a lot of these stories on television and in books. And I guess I've known women who have been in relationships such as this. And it's very difficult to extract themselves from them. Selena has taken many measures that you mentioned, and none of them were successful. And the violence escalates. She finally decides she's going to take her last stand in a small town in Georgia, coincidentally. So she moves to Andersonville and builds a home, has a job. She has given up her modeling career. Her mother had made a supermodel of her, and against her will, but it turned out to be very lucrative for her. However, Victor is holding most of her money and will not release it. So anyway, she strives to get away, but suddenly mysterious events are happening around her. There is surveillance on her property. There is a crime in her backyard this is the first place in the book where she meets the detectives that take a prominent role. So the detectives are Carl Rich, and another man who has come from Atlanta to help out. So
she's very attractive, isn't she, Selena?
She's yes, of course. She's a supermodel, and she's very, very glamorous. So she has had to give that up as well.
I suppose on the outside, people would see her as, the glamorous lady who's got everything.
That's correct.
But her life is far from it, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
And this is the clever ploy, everybody, that Pam has done. She's created, Selena, a glamorous supermodel whose life looks on the outside as to be, well, it's perfect. She's got the look, she's got the money, she's got everything. A wealthy husband, but the cracks behind the scenes are far from. And this is the start of the book, everybody.
That's right.
So, Pam, let's take the audience deeper into the book and focus on the area of the book around chapters 11 and 12, titled Carl and Rosemary. The scene is Selena is bound up. There's a body in the pool, everybody. Bodies everywhere. We're in a house on Fawn Creek Drive, Andersonville. Rosemary's attacked. So, Pam, who are these characters and how significant are they to the overriding narrative But more importantly, why the storyline here?
Well, Selena has taken care not to engage with people or have many friends because she knows from experience that Victor will possibly harm them. She has a housekeeper who she has befriended, and she is not that concerned about her because she is, after all, just a housekeeper who occasionally comes. However, the housekeeper is not, uh, she is found murdered, actually. How much to give away here, John?
Oh, we don't give away a lot. We don't give away a lot. It's all a tease, everybody.
So we don't know exactly who and why this housekeeper has met such a bad end. Could be Victor, could be someone else.
Oh, yes, everybody. Yes.
As far as the crime in the pool that has taken place at Selena's home, and Carl Rich, the detective, is trying to figure out exactly what has happened. Selena wakes up to complete and utter surprise and shock because she has been passed out with drugs. But she wakes up and she discovers a body in her backyard. And as I said, that's when she meets Carl. So here we have an unsolved crime and a budding romance with this detective who becomes attracted to her and she reciprocates.
Yes, in the book, everybody, yes, we've got this relationship building up, between the detective and the person that he's working for. And I don't know if you agree with me here or not, Pam. And sometimes I'm thinking, I wonder why Carl wanted to get involved in the first place. But we'll leave that thought, because if you want to know why, read the book, everybody. And you can't see at the moment, because I'm talking here, but you can't see Pam's face, and she's smiling, smirking at me, going, yeah, absolutely, yes. Now, as I said, we're only giving you snapshots of the book. So I now want to, Pam, go to chapters 18 and 19, swiftly moving on. And I found the scenes in this part of the book very, very exciting. And you head up the chapters, the chief, and discovery, respectfully. The chief is quite an interesting character. Now, Chief Walters, as I've said, is a fascinating character. And Andy and Carl's conversation with him gives me the impression Chief Walters is a man not to be messed with. And in chapter 19, Discovery, Rosemary's murder scene, you're definitely taking the reader, Pam, down memory road here, many roads with this book of yours, throwing the reader off the scent, so to speak, so many times with the twists and the turns. So what's the gossip here? Chief Walters and what's cracking off in Rosemary?
Well, the chief does not suffer fools.
He doesn't, everybody. He doesn't suffer fools.
He's no nonsense leader, but he provides a little bit of comic relief with some of his mannerisms and habits. He has grown and fed these detectives, and this pace is slowed down a little bit to give the reader a break. There are a lot of, as you said, twists and turns and action in the book. So Carl and Andy are discussing what has happened at Selena's home, and they are speculating that there is more than one person surveilling her property. So as they are discussing these things, and Selena, they receive a phone call, and it's Selena, and she's scared, and she's crying, and she's hysterical because she has just seen Rosemary's murder on the television, in addition to the crime that has happened at her own home. So the next chapter, we see the detectives speaking with Selena, and she starts to reveal some of her past, but she doesn't know how much to tell them because it sounds fantastic with all of the things that Victor has done to her throughout the years since their divorce. Victor has actually remarried. So Selena thinks then that things are pretty much over, but they're not. So many strange events are happening. And here is another place where we introduce a child who is in great trouble and danger, and Selena is able to assist her in removing her from her circumstances, which in some ways mirror Selena's circumstances. So anyway, as I said before, Rosemary has met a bed, and they're trying to figure out if that plays into Selena's ring of trouble that is surrounding her.
You know, throughout the book, Pam, Victor's reach is phenomenal, isn't it?
Yes, well, he has more money than the banks of some countries. So yes, he can buy information. But Victor is kind of a hands-on guy. He likes to do these things himself.
Yes, so somebody of his immense wealth, and background and contacts, it must be very difficult for, for Selena to bat him off, to get rid of him, to get him out of her life. And that's what I love about the book. It's this complex relationship between Selena and Victor, which you constantly throw at the reader. And I hope that's the right word. Because, wow. Anyway, enough waffle from me. If you want to know more, guess what? Now, I want to go to the last chapter in the first part of the book that I want to go to, and that is chapter 26, and it's titled Elaine. And I was fascinated by this chapter, and because I thought the character Elaine, she's very, very interesting. So would you care to tell the audience who is Elaine, what's her role in the book, and what's happening here? Spill the beans.
Well, Elaine is a small town girl who works with Selena. And Selena eventually decides that she needs to confide in somebody in case something were to happen to her. So accidentally, Elaine has shown up early at the bank where both of these women work, and these women were abducted. Elaine plays a role in rescuing the both of them. Again, don't want to give too much away. So that's who Elaine is, and there's more, but Elaine is not an enormous character, but she's an important one.
She is. And that's why, when I was reviewing your book, I suggested that we go to this chapter because that's what I got. She's not a major role player, but she is significant.
Mhm.
And I think that's a fair assessment. And of course, this is chapter 26 in the first part of the book. There are 32 chapters in total. So we haven't gone to the end of that part one. I don't want to go there because I want you guys, the audience, to go and find out for yourself what is in this first part of the book. So I would now like to, we've given you a fair insight, everybody, as to what the first part of the book is about. So now let's explore part two, Prey. And I'd like to go, Pam, to chapters 33 and 34, Eric and Jack, as they are the first two chapters of this second half. I understand Eric, that is, he's a special agent, Eric Decker, Atlanta PD Internal Affairs. Now, Eric has had an interesting past. Oh, yes, he's had a very interesting past, everybody. His police file is exactly glowing. And Jack's background, his time in Nigeria, is fascinating. Pam, would you care to enlighten us as to why you've kicked off the second part of the book with these two chapters and these characters?
Well, we haven't seen these characters before. We've got enough characters in the first part of the book, so they're coming in a bit later. Eric is working undercover with Chief Walters because there have been robberies at the station. So this is totally apart from what's going on with Selena and Victor. But he enters the scene by befriending Elaine so that he can get to Carl a bit more, because he doesn't know what's going on at the station and who is guilty. So he wants to find out what Carl knows. Well, eventually, through other circumstances, Andy leaves the police force and Eric takes his place, and then it's Eric and Carl together. What was the next one?
So it was just those two characters.
Right. Well, moving on to Jack. Jack is Selena's remaining friend. Yes, he's Nigerian. After Selena's divorce, and this is another thing that happens primarily to women, I think, you suddenly have no friends because you were a couple. So she does have one remaining friend from Boulder, Colorado, where she lived with Victor. And Jack is the one who has found her this position in Georgia. And Jack is receiving, the chapter opens with Jack pondering an attaché case and waiting for a courier who is turns out to be an interesting lady. Jack is receiving phone calls in code that he finally puts together. It turns out to be a Swiss bank account. So we can guess who owns this account.
Let me guess.
Jack is anxious to rid this character from Selena's life, who is his friend, who he's known since her childhood. He lived with her parents as a tennis coach. And he has put this puzzle together and is tampering with someone's affairs with this information.
And Selena, obviously, Victor is a very controlling person, so he probably did control who she spoke to, who she saw, who she had a friendship with. So, of course, when that all broke down, And in those circumstances, you tend to find this, that then that person is bereft of contacts and friends because
Hmm.
they weren't really that person's friends. They were the other half's friends and contacts and commercial and partners and things like that.
That's right.
So that's, as you said, when she got divorced and now, her friends almost disappeared. And it's probably also that those who were friends decided, well, Victor's got the money, Victor's got the wealth.
That's right.
Our brain is telling us we'll stick with him.
Hmm. That's correct.
It is. And that's,
And I've seen this happen to women.
and I think this is why you've given this Selena these characteristics.
Hmm.
You're getting that across.
That's right.
You do it very, very well.
Well, thank
It
you.
really does, everybody. Now,
Well, you asked me where I got ideas,
yeah.
and in writing there are what you call pantsers, and you may have heard that expression before. And it's authors who fly by the seat of their pants, and that's what I do. I tried outlining, I tried various methods, but it's best if I just sit down and open the curtains and start to write. So,
Yes,
and yes, I draw on events from my life. Yes, I do.
yes, because I always tend there's two types of authors. Those who plan it and plot it and plan it and plot it and spend absolutely months doing it. So then when they come to write it, all they're doing is just putting the pieces together. And for other authors, that is just totally, they just can't do that. They just, well, I'll sit down with a blank piece of paper and I'll see where the storyline goes. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I'll change it. And you're the latter.
Yes,
And certainly
definitely.
on the books that I wrote, I was the latter. I couldn't plot it and plan it. I'd have thought straight off, but no. Anyway, let's go to the wedding chapter, chapter 40. A double June wedding. Selena and Carl, Eric and Elaine.
That's right.
Oh, isn't Pam stitching putting all these characters together now? And this chapter is your. Now, I thought it's a slightly different chapter because this is your romantic chapter that I thought,
Mhm.
there's no gory details in here. There's no bodies floating around or being, discovered. And I think this is you just slowing the pace down a bit here, but put a bit of touch of romance into the book. Giving the reader a rest from the hot pace, the fast pace. And these newlywed relationships certainly do that. So I was just fascinated by, you've married these off.
Well, as you say, the pace has slowed down a little bit, and the chief is there, and this child is there, and the two couples, and we have some emotion. We have tears on the part of almost everyone, and everything is fine and dandy until they hear a helicopter above, and we can guess who that might be that has come to muck up the ceremony. So they have kept it from the media, but somebody has found out. So that's how the chapter ends. We can't have a chapter that doesn't have a thrill or a twist. So
She's keeping it very close tight, isn't she, everybody? She's not giving much away here. And yeah, it was, that's why I asked if we could talk about this chapter, because I just thought, yes, it's very, very interesting. A double wedding. And who she's put together. Yeah. I wonder why she's done that. You want to know? Guess what the answer is? Go and have a look. Now, Chapter 46, Pam. This is a bit of a rag to riches story in this chapter here, isn't it, Olivia? And I'm not going to introduce what's in this, this chapter. I want you to tell us what's in this part of the book. What's going on here within the contents? What's the narrative? What's the background here?
Olivia, who is Victor's second wife, and Selena have worked together in Europe modeling over the years. And after Selena is divorced, Olivia and Victor meet up at a party, and they eventually get married, as I said. I'm not sure what you want to know about this chapter, but Olivia
I'm
has
more
married
interested in
Victor.
the relationship between Olivia and Selena.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the crux of this chapter.
right. Olivia is married for money, and she's not about to give up Victor, since he is the wealthiest man in the world. Olivia plays an important role as well, although she's not a major character. Because when something of Selena's goes missing, something's that's very important to her, we will find out whether or not Olivia has a conscience.
Do you think that your character, Olivia, has suspicions as to how, the former first wife has been treated? Does she have doubts, do you think? Or just is the money just buying that? I know what's happened, but the money's good.
I don't think she really cares what's happened to Selena, and we don't really know whether it's happening to her, because she and Victor are not a close couple. So Victor disappears as he pleases, and Olivia really does not care one way or the other.
She's a lady, everybody, who's after the money.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Now, Pam, and the last chapter I want to focus on is chapter 47, The Amateur. You start the chapter, a voluptuous 40-something woman with a platinum blonde, Bridget Bardot up and down hairdo, and bubblegum pink, thigh-high bodysuit, placed her hands in her pockets. Are you letting your imagination run a little amok here? Or
Maybe.
are you thinking, oh, would I like to be like this character here? So I'll put a bit of myself in here. I don't know. But she's very interesting what's going on in this chapter. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit, an insight as to what
Sure.
you're getting at here?
Marit is her name, and she is Victor's live-in trainer. And this chapter is about revenge. And this woman has been used and abused for years by Victor. And she decides that she is going to destroy the most important thing to him, which is his estate in Boulder, where he lived with Selena. So she sets about it, and she lights a match, and we find that she has ultimately destroyed herself in her act of revenge towards Victor. And it's not pretty what happens to
No,
her.
it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all what's happening here. But I hope everybody, you start to see that there are many characters in this book. There are many scenes, and Pam throws in many little nooks to throw you off the scent, and teasers. You know, the many twists and the turns in the plot here. It's a very in-depth plot. It's got so many stories to it. And I just think you should go and have a look at it and go and read it, everybody. That's just my opinion. And you can't see the smile on Pam's face as I'm talking to you down the camera lens here. Believe you me, she's grinning away here at the other side.
Well, I'm very happy to be able to share something about the book. I think in a thriller, people expect twists and turns and teasers. I think that's what makes it entertaining, and that's what grips the reader. If people read for information or people read for entertainment, and this book is the latter. And I hope that it will entertain.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes. And you're absolutely right. A book of this magnitude does need all those qualifications, and it's got the lot in. Now, I'm interested. So we already touched on it right at the beginning of the interview. I said this is going to be a duology. So when's the second book coming out? What stage are we at? And is it going to be a follow-on? What is it?
It is. It does follow the first book. Some people were not happy with the ending of this book, although they continued to read it and left me good reviews. So we have a continuation of many of the characters, those who are still living.
You mean you haven't killed them off yet?
I haven't killed them all, no. So I hope that people will enjoy the sequel. Should be another year in work or so. I think I'm about 75%.
Are you going to throw some new characters in?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There you go, everyone.
Yes.
She's tight-lipped, quite rightly so, but there's another book coming out maybe next year. And we're going to have some of the same characters, we're going to have new characters, and she's going to take us on a totally different adventure. Who knows? Where can people get your book from? And who do you, Pam, see as your market? You know, are you looking to sell your book to women, men? What age range?
I think there's a wide audience base for this book. Yes, it's about glamour and wealth. That's one aspect of the book. But it's not strictly for women. I think that both genders will find some thrills and chills here. So the age group, adults. Okay. Adults who like thrillers, you know.
Where can people get your books from?
They come from just about anywhere you would expect to find books. Amazon, of course, and Barnes and Noble, as well as other places. I have an author page on Facebook and a website, afteryouMyDear.com. And also
look at the website, everybody.
They're also available on iUniverse, who is the publisher.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And with the interview, everybody, this interview, there is a written introduction. So go and have a look at that, where I've put a bit of brief bio about Pam herself and about the book and her social media sites, and the Amazon link will be on there as well, where you can go and get the book. But yes, go and visit her webpage. Very interesting. Very interesting. So it just leaves me to say, Pam from Atlanta in Georgia, I have loved your book. It's very interesting, many twists, many turns, and it kept me gripped, which it should do. And I just want to say to you, thank you very, very much for coming on the show and allowing me the great privilege of interviewing you.
Thank you so much, Tom.
You are so, so welcome. I'm JT Crowley. Thanks for listening, wherever in the world. Until next time, stay safe.